Hey everyone, and welcome to Hooked on Needles and Crafts. Today we're going to be doing another character from Disney's The Nightmare Before Christmas crochet kit. For my returning subscribers, thank you so much for tuning in. And for my new viewers, please consider subscribing, share, hit that like button, leave a comment below, and click on that notification bell for future videos. So today, you guys, we are going to be doing another character from this book. This is probably going to be in a year of progress, but they've got tons of characters, and I'm slowly getting there. But we are going to be doing Beryl today. Hello. My focus. Okay. We're going to be doing Beryl today. This video is a supplement to the instructions that you have received in getting this kit. If you would like to get this kit, I do have an Amazon link in the description box below. I am not an affiliate with this company or anything like that. I just happened to get this because my sister loves the movie, and I thought that I would gift her these characters. So I highly recommend getting these instructions, but yeah, again, this video is just to supplement the instructions. I will be going over new stitches 3 times, step by step, and then thereafter I'll go my normal speed. I will be going over each of the rounds to explain them if they're unclear. If you need to speed up or slow down the video, click on the gear button in the corner. There's playback options to go fast or slow. If you do not need to hear me talking, because my voice tends to be crackly most of the time, you can lower the volume on this on your device and then click on the CC closed caption button. Alright, so let's go straight away into the instructions. We have, it's starting you off by making the legs first. When I see the legs first, it's going to be a little doozy, but hopefully I'll be able to help you guys out. We're going to be doing the adjustable ring in white, and we're going to be making 6 single crochet stitches. So let me show you how to do that. You get your piece of yarn here. You're going to wrap it around your finger about 3 times with a little bit of overage here, so you can take your middle finger and just hold it down. Then you can tighten up your strands here. You should have, again, 3 of them on your finger. I'm going to take my hook and slip it under the 3 strands. Then I'm going to pull back the hook out, but I'm going to pull this strand underneath these 2. So let's do that now. Pull that underneath those 2 strands. Once you're here, we're going to yarn over, which is putting this yarn over the hook. So yarn over like that. Then we're going to pull this strand through this loop. Okay, like that. Then you're going to let go of your middle finger. You're going to slip the loops off your index. And then I'm going to gather up some yarn here. Okay, gather this up. Alright. Now I'm going to show you guys how to do 6 single crochet stitches, or at least the single crochet stitch. Alright, so you're going to stick your hook into the loops like this. Then we're going to yarn over, and we're going to pull this strand through the loops like that. So now you should have 2 loops onto your hook. Then we're going to yarn over again, and I'm going to pull that through the 2 loops. And that is a single crochet stitch. You have your stitch here. It looks like a braid. We have a loop here and a loop here. Alright, let me show you again how to do this. Stick your hook into the loops. We're going to yarn over and pull up a loop. So you have 2 loops on your hook. We're going to yarn over, and you're going to pull through both loops. So now you have 2 single crochet stitches, 2 braids, both loop here and loop here. Alright, let's do another one. stick your hook into the loops, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, and pull through 2 loops. So now you have 3 single crochet stitches, 3 braids, has loops here and loops here. Right, so now we just have to finish the rest of this adjustable ring. So do that now. Okay, and then once you've completed the adjustable ring count, what we're going to do is we're going to, I'm going to slip this off. I'll be more comfortable not having this on here. Alright, so you're going to take your excess piece here. We're going to pull this and we're going to see which one of these 2 loops go in first. So you want to pull, you want to hold these stitches down gently, and you want to pull this excess piece. We're going to see which loop goes in first. Stop pulling once you've identified the loop. Okay, so it's this one. So from here you're going to pull out that loop from this bottom side, not this top side, but this bottom side. So the loop that just went in, you're going to pull out from the bottom here. And once you start pulling, you're going to see the other loop start to disappear. That's exactly what you want. You want to keep pulling it until that loop is gone into the adjustable ring like this. You might still have a hole, but that's okay, because now we're going to go in and pull this excess piece and we're going to watch this loop go in. So pull it until that one's gone. I'm going to give it a little extra pull by pulling in the opposite direction and a little up. So you're going to feel a little movement and then it'll stop. Don't pull it too hard. You just wanted to close this hole. And once we get to this part of your project, you want to grab a marker that they've provided for you and slip it under the stitch, the braid, the 2 loops that I've shown you right here. Okay, and we're going to close this, and then we can start on our round 2. Okay, so now I'm going to grab some yarn here. We're going to do round 2, and that's looking for an increasing stitches. Okay. So let me show you how to do an increasing stitch. So an increasing stitch basically is putting 2 single crochet stitches in 1 stitch. So let's count back 6 stitches here. 3, 4, 5, 6. Stick your hook into the 6th stitch. Okay. So we're going to do 2 single crochet stitches in this 1 stitch here. So yarn over, pull up a loop. Make sure you get all of your yarn here. Pull up a loop. Then we're going to yarn over again, and you're going to pull through 2 loops. That's 1 single crochet stitch. Let's do another. Stick your hook into the same stitch that we just used. You're going to yarn over and pull up a loop, yarn over and pull through 2 loops. So we have 2 single crochet stitches. This is very light, so I don't know if you're going to see it, but it's coming out of that 1 stitch. So we're going to do this all the way around. So let me show you again. Stick your hook into the next stitch. We're going to put 2 single crochet stitches in here. You want to yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2 loops, then into the same stitch put in your hook, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2 loops. Okay, one more time with you guys. Into the next stitch we're going to put 2 single crochet stitches. So yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2 loops. Into that same stitch put in your hook, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2 loops. Alright, so now I'm just going to complete this all the way around. Okay. Once I've completed this round, I'm going to remove the marker. I'm going to put it at the last stitch we made, just like we did before, underneath the braid, under those 2 loops. Close this off, and then we're going to do the next round. So for the next round, we have to do single crochet stitches, and then we're going to switch to black. So upon doing 11 single crochet stitches, I have to remind myself to stop on the last single crochet stitch, because I'm going to show you how I cast on with the black, so that I can show you how to change from white to black. So let's go ahead and do your single crochet stitches. And this will be stopping before the marker, the stitch where you put the marker. So it should kind of help me remind myself to not do the last one, but as you know, I always forget. So let's see. Alright, so here I am at the last stitch. I'm going to stop right here because I'm going to cast on with my black. So what you want to do is pull the hook out to stretch this loop as far as you can get it, a little bit like this, I guess. Basically what you want to do is just prevent losing your stitch. So if you pull it long, you'd have to keep pulling it in order to lose this loop, and by then you should already know to stop yourself because you're not trying to lose that loop. Okay, so now I'm going to pull out my black. Here I have my black. I'm going to show you how to cast on. We're going to take our ring and pinky and thumb and hold one end, and then with the index and middle finger you're going to hold apart the other end. Now we're going to grab our hook and lie it perpendicular to the yarn, and then we're going to go down, out, and around to make a loop around the hook to where you can slide your hook up and down. You want to slide it down to your thumb and then take your middle finger here and just hold it where it crosses so that you can let go of your left hand. We're going to gather up some yarn here. Right? So once we're here, we're going to re-pinch this end, and you're going to slide your hook towards your thumb. Once you get to your thumb, you just want to pinch where it crosses so that you stabilize your hook and you can no longer move it up or down. And then we're going to yarn over, and you're going to pull this through the loop like that. Then I'm going to overhand my hook. I'm going to re-pinch my end here, and I'm going to push this knot towards my left thumb, and you want to keep pushing it until you can't push it anymore. Once you get to that point, then we're going to take this thumb in middle, and we're just going to pull that excess piece to feel a little bit more pull on that knot. You don't need to pull it too hard. We're just trying to pull a little bit more to make that knot nice and snug. And then I'm going to pull the knot close to the hook. I'm going to make sure I leave myself some room because we're going to slip this off and we're going to pick up our project. Slip your hook into that huge loop we made, and then you can tighten it up. We're going to complete our last single crochet stitch. So into the next stitch, put in your hook. We're going to yarn over and pull up a loop, so you have 2 loops onto your hook. I'm going to put this yarn, this white yarn, aside for now because we're going to slip on the black. And wrap this around your finger. We're going to pull this loop through these 2 loops. So let's do that now. And there you have transitioned from white to black. So we're going to remove this marker. We're going to put it at the last stitch we made underneath that braid, and then we're gonna do our round 2. I mean, wow, way off. Round 4, but let me go see if we're gonna change back to white, because if we are, we leave this on. If we're not, we're gonna cut this off. So looks like for these legs we're not. So we're gonna cut this maybe at 1 inch or so. Okay. Then what I'm going to do, I'm going to capitalize on this excess piece here. It's just flapping around. I'm going to take the white and tie it, not too tight, around the excess yarn. You know, you need something to tie to. If we didn't have this nearby, I would be tying to the black. But since it's pretty close, I'm going to tie it to the white. Okay. So now we can go back. I'm going to gather up some more yarn. We're going to do rounds 4 through 7, and that's pretty much single crochet stitches all around. So let me show you what I'm going to do. So these markers are there to keep you in check with how many rounds and how many stitches you're doing. So in this case, it's going to keep track of how many rounds I'm doing. This marker here, I'm going to count as round 4. And then I'm going to grab my other markers and I'm going to use them as round counters. So I think they gave you about 4 of them. You might want to go out and buy as many as you can. Seriously, because sometimes projects require a lot of rows of the same instruction, and you can easily get lost in how many rows you have so far. And sometimes counting it, especially if it's a dark color, you will not be able to count your rounds or rows as easily as you would think. So I suggest getting these. So this one's number 4, 5, 6, 7, and that's about it. And they come in different colors, so you know, you don't have to have them different. If you're doing a particular section in your instruction, you can color code it. So you'd be like, oh, rounds, you know, 4 through 7 are going to be all purple. You know, you can do that. But anyway, especially for people that are not able to just sit for hours and do a project. Most of us have stuff to do, and we'll have to take a pause. And then when we come back, depending on how long that be, for me that would be weeks, because I have not, you know, I don't like long projects, but just for you guys, I'll come back weeks later. I'll be like, where the heck am I? Anyway, so we're gonna complete rounds 4 through 7 doing the single crochet stitches. So I'm gonna start this at first with some voiceover, and then I'm gonna head out into silence. I want to show you that as we're doing this, you can see the project that is slowly curling into itself. It should be happening to you too. It may not be this row, it may have already been. It's different for everyone, but once you start seeing that, I'm going to show you what to do about it, because for this amigurumi, all of them, it's the same technique of going in rounds, and then eventually at some point it starts curling in and you have to curl it out. So I'm going to do that now just to get it out of the way. You can do it too. Sometimes I'll wait till it's like really curled in, just because I don't like stopping. So we're going to leave this in here. Before we put in another marker, let me show you what you have to do. So you know that it's the wrong side of your project when you have these random things sticking out. Doesn't look nice. So what we're going to do is we're going to flip this project inside out. So you want to push in the middle while you flip out the outside of it, just like this. It's starting to remind me of like an Oreo. Okay, and then I'm going to take the excess pieces and just shove them down in there. They'll act as like a stuffing along with the stuffing you put in there. You want to make sure that you don't accidentally crochet into it, so you want to push it down. We can hold it down with our finger as we crochet across. But now I'm going to take this opportunity to take the marker and put it under the last stitch I made under that braid. And it's going to be harder to see now because it is a darker color, so just try to look at your project and hopefully you'll be able to follow along. But now we're going to continue this. I'm going to continue this in silence. This instruction for the next rounds are pretty straightforward. I am leaving the markers on here so I can keep track of how many I need to do. Alright, so I completed rounds 4 through 7. It says that we have to fasten off the first leg but not the second leg. So what we're going to do is I'm going to cut about an inch or so. And to fasten off, what you do is you yarn over and you pull the strand through the loop. Okay, but we're going to pull this all the way out, and then you're going to pull this to where it tightens up, and then we're going to end up tucking this excess piece in here. If you want, you can still hook your last stitch you made. So put your marker in the last stitch you made under that braid. Now, what I'm going to do, you guys, I'm going to do the second leg off camera, and we're gonna come back in. So like I said, whenever you see instructions that tell you to do the legs first, it's because you're gonna end up doing the first leg, and then we're gonna do the second leg, and then you crochet it together. And this is always nerve-wracking for me, so comment below, let me know how you feel about that. But I'm going to come back in with the second leg not fastened off, because we're going to be continuing to crochet rounds to make the body. Alright, so come back in with my second leg. Alright, so we have our first leg. I made the second leg. It's still attached and everything because we're moving on to the body and head. First, we have to place the first leg next to the second leg and join them together by working on the first leg. So I put this marker here just to let me know where the last stitch that we made is. So it'll help me be easier to count. I don't know, just for me. Alright, so for round 8, we have to do an increasing stitch, some single crochet stitches, another increasing stitch, more single crochet stitches, and an increasing stitch on the first leg. Okay, so let's start with that. I'm gonna go into this single crochet, this stitch right here. Put your hook in there. We're gonna do an increasing stitch. And remember, that's 2 single crochet stitches in the same stitch for an increasing stitch. And then we're going to do single crochet stitches. Okay. And then we're going back to another increasing stitch. And then we're going to do more single crochet stitches. And where our marker is the last increasing stitch. Okay, so for my records, I'm going to remove this marker, and I'm going to put it at the first single crochet stitch we made. So right here. Alright, but we're going to move on to the second leg. So for the second leg, we're doing an increasing stitch, some single crochet stitches, another increasing stitch, more single crochet stitches, and an increasing stitch on the second leg. So since we put our marker here, we know where the next stitch is going to be. So put your hook into the next stitch. We're going to work our increasing stitch. Okay. Then we're going to do our single crochet stitches. Okay. Then we're going to do our increasing stitch. And then we're going to do more single crochet stitches. Then for this marker here, our last one is the increasing stitch. Okay, so then I'm going to remove this marker, and we're going to put this at the last stitch we made. All right, then we're going to move on to, let's see, there will be a small gap between the legs. Use tail of black yarn to close it when the body is completed. Alright, so what they're talking about is this gap right here. But you know what? Let's do that now while we're here. So pull your hook out, make a big loop. Alright, then we're going to take this excess piece they're talking about here, the tail. Find a moment in between the two legs here, and we're going to yarn over, and you're going to pull that through the other side. Pull it all the way out. Check to see if there's any other bigger gaps. I see that there's one here that I just want to get rid of, so use your hook again to yarn over, and you're going to pull that through the loops. Okay, and then check again to see if there are any gaps. I'm just going to do this one more time on this side here. Just want to make sure I close this gap. Okay, I'm going to yarn over. Now I'm going to fasten this off, you guys. So pull that loop through the stitches that you're going through. Okay, not all the way out. We're going to yarn over again, and you're going to pull that through the loop all the way out this time, and then we're going to pull this tight to close it. So we pretty much closed off the hole between the legs. So now you can put your hook back into that huge loop and then close it up. And then we're going to move on to round 9. So for round 9, we're going to be doing single crochet stitches, but in the back loops only. So in your instruction, you'll see that abbreviation BL. That stands for back only. So when I was showing you the braiding for each stitch, and you can kind of see it here. So this is one stitch. This is one loop that makes the braid, and then this one here is the other loop that makes the braid. Now, this loop here is called the front loop. This loop here is called the back loop. So if you can, look at your project. You have all these stitches, right? Each stitch consists of a braid, and if you turn it on its top side, you can see the braid, like if you were to braid hair. And each braid consists of 2 loops, this loop and this loop. This one is the front loop, and this loop here is the back loop. So in the instruction, we are going to be working on the back loop only. So when you stick your hook into the next stitch, you're going to want to split that braid and put your hook only in the back loop like that. Alright, so when I do these next 3 stitches with you guys, keep in mind where I'm placing the hook. I'm going to leave this marker here so that you can see where I'm putting the hook. It's going to be in this stitch where the marker is. Alright, and again you can see the front loop right here and the back loop. You want to split that braid, stick your hook into the back loop only. I'm lifting it up in an exaggeration so you can see. Alright, and then we're going to do our single crochet stitch like so. And that's basically it for the back loop crochet. I can remove this marker now. Alright, let's do another one. So we're gonna go into the next stitch. Here is the braid, here is the front loop, here is the back loop. I'm gonna split the braid and stick the hook into the back loop only, stretching it out in exaggeration so that you can see it. Okay, then I'm gonna do my single crochet stitch, right? So now I have my 2 single crochet stitches, back loop only. One more time with you guys. So here's the next stitch. We have the front loop here, the back loop here. We're going to split the braid, stick the hook into the back loop only. This, and I'm pulling it in exaggeration so you can see the back loop here. Front loop is just chilling out here in the front. We're going to do our single crochet stitch, and then now we have our 3. Alright, so I'm going to be doing the rest of this round in silence. I'm going to pop in for a quick minute just to go over the next few rounds. Alright, so I completed round 9, and then now this is where you need a lot of markers. So for the next rounds 10 through 18, we're going to do single crochet stitches all the way up. So this is 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, and 18. So 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. So I am going to be doing these rows in silence. It's single crochets all the way around, so pretty straightforward. Okay, real quick, I forgot to mention, when we do the single crochet stitches all around, we are no longer doing the back loop only. You see, it's really hard to see, but the back loop only left the front loops just chilling out here. But for the next rounds, we're going to be doing the normal hook placement that we've been doing all this time. So you're going to use both loops this time instead of the one. Alright. Alright, I completed rounds 10 through 18. Now we're going to do round 19. We're going to start doing the invisible decreasing stitch, and I'm going to show you how to do that. But for this round, we're doing invisible decreasing stitch and then some single crochet stitches. We're going to repeat this 6 times. Alright, so let me show you how to do an invisible decreasing stitch. So basically what it is you have your front loops and back loops like I had mentioned. We're going to be using the front loops now. And so what we're going to do, we're going to stick our hook underneath the front loop like this. So before, when we were doing back loops, we're splitting the braid and putting the hook through the back loop only. This time we're just gonna again go up through the front loop only, and so now it'll look like this, right? The back loop is just chilling here. Alright, so now what we're gonna do is we're gonna go put our hook in the next stitch, front loop only. So take your hook, put it underneath and through the front loop of the next stitch like that. So now you have the 3 loops onto your hook. We're going to yarn over and you're going to pull through 2 loops. 1, 2. So now you have 2 loops left. We're going to yarn over and you're going to pull through those 2 loops. So I don't know if you can see it because it's dark, but we took 2 stitches and made 1 stitch. So now we're going to do our single crochet stitches. So let's do that. And then we're going to repeat this 5 more times. So let me show you how to do a invisible decreasing stitch again. Stick your hook into the next stitch, front loop only, like that. Then we're going to go into the next stitch, front loop only, like that. And then we're going to yarn over and you're going to pull through 2 loops like that and have 2 loops left on your hook. And then we're going to yarn over and pull through those 2 loops. Okay, so then we're going to do our single crochet stitches again. And then we're going to repeat this 4 more times. So one more time with you guys. Stick your hook into the next stitch, front loop only. There. Then we're going to go into the next stitch over, front loop only. Stick your hook in like that. So now you have 3 loops on your hook. We're going to yarn over and you're going to pull through 2 loops like this. So now you have 2 loops left. We're going to yarn over and pull through those 2 loops. So then we're going to do our single crochet stitches. Okay. And then we're going to repeat this 3 more times. So if you need to go back and replay the step-by-steps, go ahead and do that. I'm just going to move ahead with the rest of these stitches here. Okay, with dark colors you just want to make sure that you're getting into the right stitches and that you're not splitting the yarn. It's really hard to see, but try to make your project as nice and clean as you can in case you ever have to unravel it. It'll be an an easy and clean unravel. Or if you just want it to look nice and neat. Okay. So I completed all the stitches for that round. I'm going to move my marker to the last stitch we made. Then we're going to move on to round 20. And for round 20, we're doing invisible decreasing stitch with some single crochet stitches. We're going to repeat that 6 times. Oops. Forgot what I was doing there. And it looks like we're going to be stuffing after this as well, which is good because I am feeling the whole of this body getting smaller, so I'm a little concerned with stuffing the body before the hole gets too small. Okay, so this is the last bits of the round. I'm gonna replace my marker. Alright, and then it says stuff the legs and the body and continue stuffing as we go. So I'm going to pull out my stuffing here, and I'm going to fill this. I'm going to try filling in the legs separately so that they get stuffed as well. If you put a wad all at once, you might not be able to get into the legs, and then they'll be not as firm and sturdy as you would like. Okay. I think I could put more, but I'm going to see how this goes. So you don't want to overstuff, you can accidentally crochet through it, and this is such a dark color that you don't want to pull the fiber fill out. You're going to be able to see it against the dark color. Alright, so then now we're going to do round 21, and that's pretty much single crochet stitches, and then we're changing to light green. Alright, so I have to remind myself to not do the last single crochet stitch, because like we did before, I gotta cast on my light green so that I can change to it. All right. Oh, and I forgot. Alright, told you I would. So I'm just gonna undo this stitch here. If you ever have to undo stitches, just do a slow pull. And this is why you want to be very clean with your stitches, because if you split your yarn, this would be hard to do or impossible to do. So I just removed that one stitch. I'm going to slip my hook back into this loop here. Okay, so what I need to do again, I got to pull this out to make a large loop. Right, we're going to set this project aside. I'm going to grab my light green. Okay. And we are going to hold this with our ring, pinky, and thumb on one end, index and middle finger on the other. We're going to hold our hook perpendicular to the yarn. Then we're going to go down, out, and around so we can slide our hook up and down. Slide it down towards your thumb. Take your middle finger and just hold it where it crosses so that we can let go of our left hand. And then we're going to gather up some yarn around our finger. Re-pinch the end right here. Then we're going to slide our hook back down to our thumb. And when you hit your thumb, you just want to pinch where it crosses so that your hook is stabilized and can no longer go up or down. Then we're going to yarn over and you're going to pull this through the loop like this, right? Then I'm going to overhand my hook. I'm going to re-pinch the end piece here, and then I'm going to push my knot towards my left thumb. Keep pushing that down until you can no longer push it. Once you get to that point, you can take your thumb and middle finger and just pull that excess piece a little bit more. Not too much, just enough to make the knot nice and snug. And then I'm going to grab the knot and slide it up towards the hook, but I'm going to leave a bit of space here so I can slip this off. Oh, I almost pulled that. And then set this aside. We're going to pick up our project again and put our hook back into that huge loop that we made. Tighten it up. And then we're going to complete our last stitch. Okay, so we're going to stick our hook into the last stitch here, yarn over, pull up a loop. Then we're going to set this yarn aside. We're going to grab the green yarn and you're going to slip that onto the hook. I'm going to gather up some yarn around my finger and we're going to pull this loop through these two. So do that. Alright, so now we've changed the color. I'm going to put this marker at the last stitch we've made. I'm going to check to see if we are switching to black again at all. If not, we're going to tie this off. Alright, let's see. So far, no black. Alright, so no black. So, cut this off about 1 inch or so. And unlike the legs, there's no excess yarn to tie from. So I'm going to tie this around the green. And we're going to do 2 knots, not so tight, but enough to secure your black so that it doesn't unravel in your project. I mean, it probably won't, but you just would rather be safe than sorry. So here we have it looking like this. I'm just going to stuff that end into the body there, and then we're going to move forward with the green. Okay, so now for the green, we are going to do round 22, and it's basically we're back to an increasing stitch to single crochet stitches 6 times. Okay, so let's do our increasing stitch. Again, that's just 2 single crochet stitches in the same stitch. Okay, then we're going to do our single crochet stitches. And then we're going to repeat this 5 times. So this is pretty straightforward with what we've kind of been doing. It's just instead of the invisible decreasing stitch, we are doing an increasing stitch. Okay. So I'm just going to complete the rest. Okay, so now I'm going to move my marker to the last stitch we made. Alright, and we're going to move on to round 23. So for round 23, we're just going to do the increasing stitch and then our single crochet stitch and count increased, and we're going to repeat this 6 times. Trying to look at the photo and see what this looks like, and I mean where it is in the body, and I'm not seeing it. Okay. So we're going to do our increasing stitch, then we're going to do our single crochet stitches, and then we're going to repeat this 6 times. Okay, so I'm going to just replace my marker to the last stitch we made. Then we're going to move on to rounds 24 through 30, and we're pretty much doing single crochet stitches all the way around. So this is 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, and 30. I always double count: 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30. Alright, and of course I'm going to be doing this in silence. Alright, so I finished rounds 24 through 30. We're going to do 31, and we're going back to alternating invisible decreasing stitches with single crochet stitches, and we're going to do that 6 times. So let's go and do that. And I wasn't seeing it before, but I guess this is supposed to be the head of barrel. And try to keep these videos under 2 hours, but it seems like we might go over. Okay. For round 32, we are again going to do invisible decreasing stitch, and we're doing single crochet stitches, 1 less, 6 times. Let's do that. Okay. So for round 33, I'm gonna put some stuffing in here before we do round 33, just because I'm feeling pudgy. I don't know, from retaining water, too much information, but I'm gonna stuff this because I feel like my fingers are not fitting comfortably in this round, so I want to make sure I fill this beforehand. I could always add some, but that would be tougher, and it's easier to do the stuffing now while it's easy, so you don't have too much of a tough time when you fill in any more if needed. Try to match the firmness with the head to the body. Okay. All right. Got a little knot in my spool of yarn. Okay. All right. So now I'm going to do round 33. I have my invisible decreasing stitch with my single crochet stitch, doing that 6 times. And again, you want to be careful from accidentally crocheting into your stuffing. It'll pull it out of your project and then you'll spot it right away. It's a little unsightly. Okay. Put the marker in the last stitch we made. And now for the 34th round, we're going to do invisible decreasing stitches all the way around. I always hate this part because the stitches get so loose that it leaves everything a little bit holy. Comment below if you know what I'm talking about, if that happens to you. So I'm trying to keep my stitches nice and tight here. I totally messed up. Alright, I'm going to backtrack because I know I did 2 stitches twice. So let me, oh, or maybe I skipped one. Yeah, I skipped one. I normally do, my fault that I do is I use the same stitch twice. But in this case I skipped this one. There, last one. Okay, removing this marker. I don't think we need to put it at the last stitch we made. Let me just see if there's any more rounds that we have to do for this head and body. Okay, yeah, so we are going to be fastening off now. Let's see. And we are weaving the ends, so here you only need about like 1 inch or so. Okay. Again, to fasten off, we're going to yarn over and you're going to pull this through the loop all the way out, and we're going to tighten this up. It says you can use the needle, but listen, I have my hook here now. What you can do is stick your hook underneath each stitch and just weave it in and out. That's basically what we're doing with the needle. So we're going to go into each stitch. We're either pulling in or pulling out. Okay, last one. Now once we're here, we're just going to pull this tight to close that hole. Then what you want to do is just find a stitch to go around, pull up a loop. We're going to fasten off, pull all the way out through the loop, tighten it. Then we're going to come back in just under the surface of the head, avoiding the stuffing. We're going to yarn over and we're going to drag this into the head until that tail disappears. You can either pull this out if you have stuffing coming out, just push it out through a random end. And there you go. We have our body and our head. Okay, so we are joining, join black in any free loop of rounding stitches. Fasten off and weave in the ends. Oh, yarn make the bones of the legs. Okay, I guess I can try doing this last part. Join black in any free loop of round 8. Round 8 was the back loop only situation that we did, if you remember. That was so round 8 we did actually that wasn't. Okay, that kind of was. That's what they mean. Let's see. So I don't know if you can see it, that front loops that we left alone, we're going to be using these. But it says, join black in any free loop, round 8, slip stitch in all 30 stitches. Okay. So this is a little excessive, but okay. So I'm going to take my black yarn here. Okay. We're going to cast on with the slip knot like we did. Ring, pinky, and thumb, index and middle finger. We're going to lie it perpendicular to the yarn. We're going to go down, out, and around, so that we have our little slide here. Slide your hook down to your thumb, take your middle finger and just hold it where it crosses so we can let go of our left hand. Grab some yarn on your finger, re-pinch the end. We're going to slide our hook back down towards the thumb and then pinch where it crosses like that so that you can stabilize your hook and you can't slide it up and down. Now we're going to yarn over and you're going to pull the strand through the loop. Okay. Then we're going to re-pinch this end. We're going to push the knot towards the left thumb. Keep pushing until the knot gets tight enough. And then just to make sure this knot is snug, I'm going to pull out the excess piece a little bit for that little bit of slack in there. And then I'm going to pull the knot towards the hook. Okay, like that. So now it's saying that we are joining black with any free loop around 8 and we're doing a slip stitch in all 30 stitches. So it's going to be hard to see for me here. It's this line right here. And since they don't close off every row, it's staggered because they do a spiral. But anyway, you're going to slip in your hook, pick a loop. I'm picking the end of this round. I'm going to slip on our black yarn. I'm going to pull that through the loop, and then I'm going to go into the next front loop here, and I'm going to do a slip stitch. Now a slip stitch, oh, we haven't done those. So you have 2 loops on your hook. A slip stitch basically is a yarn over, and you're going to pull this through all the loops, and that's pretty much a slip stitch. Okay, so then we're going to go into the next stitch, and we're going to do a slip stitch, a yarn over, and we're going to pull this strand through the loops. Okay, one more time with you guys. Stick your hook into the front loop, yarn over, pull through all the loops off your hook. Okay, so we're going to do this all the way around. Just one second, I have to check something. Okay, let's complete all of this. Okay, and then when you're back to the beginning, we're just going to do a slip stitch with that, and then we're going to fasten off. So, and weave it, so you only need about 1 inch or so. yarn over, pull through the loop all the way out, tighten this up, and then we're going to go just under the surface of the body, avoiding the fiber fill. We're going to yarn over, and we're going to pull this into the body until that tail disappears. Okay. All right, now it says using the tapestry needle and white yarn, make the bones over the legs with straight stitch and lazy daisy stitch. Okay, this is a short leg, and they have you doing like something long in the illustration. Alright, so take your tapestry needle, and this isn't the same one from the kit. I don't remember. I've had so many of these needles. We're gonna thread this through. Now we have to do a bone here. I mean, this is, I hate sewing. So we're going to stick this needle. I have a 1 ply. I normally do 2, but it looks like we got to do some daisy stitches, lazy daisy stitches. So we're going to stick our hook in the top here. You can essentially stick it anywhere, to be honest, but let's stick it up here. We only have so many. I mean, I guess that would be the first row of the black. Okay, so a lazy daisy stitch, what I'm going to do is I'm going to put a big knot at the end. Nope. This is why you do this beforehand. Oh, I hate this. Okay, let's do the long way first. Sorry, pull that all the way out. Okay, stick your needle at, like, I guess 1 row from this little border we did, and stick it all the way down. Screw it, right here. Just at the first row of black. Okay? Then we're gonna tie it, and then hopefully I'll be able to fish it through the other side. So just tie a knot. If you have a better way to do this, definitely. But then I'm gonna try to spin it to where that knot disappears. You could use your hook to help you, but you want to drag this knot into the body. Okay, there. Wow, that worked. Okay, so you got your vertical part of your bone. All right, so I guess this is going to be a double ply, or you can kind of stick it through. Okay, let's just do that then. No, let's do it this way. All right, so lazy daisy, let's do a hook here, like a little loop. We're going to stick this back into the hole that we have the vertical bone. I'm going to come back up about a stitch away, but I'm having this loop around the needle like that. So we're going to pull this, right? And you want to pull it to where that loop is hugging this strand. You don't want to go like let it go in. You want it to stay out. So we make this little loop And here you just go back into the hole that you came in. We're going to do the other side, so you can come back up that vertical location that we originally had and pull this. So this loop here is going to keep that lazy, what do they call it? Lazy daisy stitch. There you go. Cute. All right, let's do this again. So we're going to stick this into a stitch over. No, we're not. We're going to create this loop. We're going to go back into that vertical hole that we went to, and in a stitch away, we're going to come back out, put your loop over here, and start pulling. Okay, same thing. You don't want it to pull all the way. You want it to hug this strand here. We're going to go back into the same hole that we came in. I want to go back out here because we got to do the other side. So try to avoid the fiber fill while you're doing this if you can. But we're going to come out through this side. Okay. And we're going to pull that so we get that lazy daisy stitch. And then we're going to do the same thing. You want to stick your needle back into that hole we just came out of, a stitch away, come out this way. You want to make that loop around this, and we're going to go back in to that spot that we came out of, up through that vertical hole that we initially started out of. Pull that, and then we're going to do this one more time. And this leg is so tiny, the illustration is definitely different from reality. But that's what happens with these instructions, you guys. Whoa. Okay. And then we're going to come back in here. See if you can snake your needle. I'm gonna go here for a second. My goal is to like snake over, but because my needle is short, I'm gonna momentarily come out of one of the holes here, right? Just so that I can get this stuff here done, like that. Then I'm gonna go back into that same hole, and I'm gonna try to snake my needle to the other side of the leg. That way I can avoid having to tie a knot, because I'm not gonna lie, I have no idea how I'm gonna tie all of this at the end. Alright, so now that I'm here, I want to come up where I'm gonna put my vertical bone. Right, so let's say right here. Let's see how that looks. Okay, and then we'll just do this one first. So actually no, yeah, we'll do the vertical first. All right, we're gonna come back up where we just came out of to make that vertical. And we're going to do our lazy daisy stitch, going back into the same hole we came out of, one stitch away. Put the loop around your needle, and then we're going to go back into that same hole and out of the vertical end there, and then we're going to do the lazy daisy stitch on this side, Whoops. Man, this kid. Right. We're gonna go back into that same hole. And then we're gonna go down here. Alright, now as far as where to tie the knot, I have no idea. Maybe I can blend it with the boot, so yeah, maybe I'll, since I've declared this the front side, surprisingly, I didn't even look, I'm gonna go through the back right here. Okay, make sure I close that off. All right, so here's where I'm going to tie my knot then. So however you need to do that, go ahead and go do that. But at least I can hide my knot. All right. I'm going to cut about 1 inch or so. And I'm going to take my hook just under the surface of the leg, come up where the excess piece is. We're going to yarn over and we're going to drag it down into the leg. Okay, and maybe come out somewhere else. All right. So we've got our bones. All right. So now we are done with the head and body, you guys. So in our next video, we are going to be doing the arms, the hair, the rib cage. I don't think the rest will be as well, yeah, I think. The rib cage I'm a little scared about. We got to do the bones again on the arms, but I think the hardest part is going to be doing the face because we got to sew on the embroidery floss to the face. At any rate, so this is the project. Comment below, let me know how it's going. A little excited about this little guy here, not as bad as I thought it would be. So yeah, I will see you again in the next video. Click on that notification bell so you don't miss a single video. At any rate, thank you so much for watching. This is Hooked on Needles and Crafts. Please share, like, and subscribe for future videos, and I'll see you again next time. Thanks. Bye.